Hello students, hope you're all doing fine and glad to meet you all again through this online session. And we were doing Nelson Mandela lesson 2, okay, long walk to freedom. And so far what did we did, we saw how he felt in the ceremony and what oath he took, the pledge he took during the ceremony to establish freedom and peace to all the people in the nation. And I gave you the answers for oral comprehension check in page number 18, and also the answers for the activity in page number 17. Hope you all noted it down and studied it. Don't waste time, try to make use of the time as much as possible. And so we will be continuing from page number 19. Okay. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters and troop carriers rode in perfect formation over the Union buildings. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision, accuracy and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Okay, he is saying in a few moments we saw, okay, they all saw the military display in Indian parades. Also you would have seen that is during Independence Day, Republic Day. You can see the parade, okay, in Delhi, in all the important capitals of the states. Okay, what happens, there will be parade and display of military, especially in Delhi. There will be display of military. There will be missiles, helicopters and jet planes that would be displayed, and people will see how strong the military of the nation is. It will be displayed. And here in South Africa also it was displayed on that day, on the day of ceremony. And he's saying that all this shows the loyalty of military for this government that is selected by the people, that is purely democratic, okay, not by little only a small group of people, but by all the people in South Africa, white, black, all the race people, all colored people in South Africa who elected this government. So this is not a discriminative government. So this is a pure government, and the military is showing its loyalty through the display. Okay, he's saying. Okay, then only moments before, the highest generals of South African Defence Force and Police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. Finally, chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. Now next, what happens after this military equipments display? Okay, all the jet planes, helicopters, troop carriers went. Okay, police inspectors, all those higher officials, commissioners, like that, right? All the generals of the military, they all are coming to meet whom? President Mandela, and they are standing before him to get bedecked. Bedecked means that ribbon and all the medals they will pin in the chest, right? That is bedecking. Okay, they are coming there to get bedecked with all those medals and honorary ribbons. And what happens? He's remembering. I'm not unmindful. He's saying I'm not unmindful means I'm not unconscious. I'm conscious. I'm very much conscious. I'm not unmindful of the fact that one day, okay, in the past, they were all standing over there to arrest me, okay, because he was protesting against the then government. What was that? That white government with the apartheid policy system, okay. He was standing there, and they were there over there to arrest him. But today, look at his hard work, like look at his humbleness also. He is not angry with them. He is happy and he is honored by it. That is, that day they came to arrest me. Today they are standing before me to get honored by me, okay, to get honored by me, to earn my respect, to show their loyalty to me. They are standing over there to show loyalty to Mandela. Before, they stamped him, they beat him in the prison, he was tortured in the prison. Same people are standing before him to respect him. Now this is the achievement made by Mandela, and he is overwhelmed with it. He's really happy. Then comes this Chevron of Impala Jets. Impala is a company, a very big company in those days. They produce jet planes, cars and all, sports cars and all. It was a famous company, just like BMW, Audi today. Impala is a famous and old company. And Impala Jet, okay, the Impala company jets, smoke trail of black, gold, green of the new South African flag. Okay, you would have seen that in parade again. You can see the jet planes making the tricolor of India, Indian flag, right on the sky. They'll make a smoke from the engine, and it will create tricolor like a Indian flag. They'll make a what do you call it, chevron. Chevron means the shape created, okay, V shape created by the jets. The jets will go in V shape, right, spreading all those smoke and creating a beautiful flag of that particular nation. Here it is making the flag of South African nation, and he's saying it is really beautiful to look at that site. Okay, it will be beautiful to see our national flag on that on the sky created by our jet planes, right? Same, he is feeling really happy. Then the day was symbolized for me by the playing of our natural national anthems and the vision of whites singing Kosi Sikolel Africa and blacks singing Die Stem, the old anthem of the Republic. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they would soon know the words by heart. Now he is also happy. This day is a symbolism for my this day is going to be a symbolism of nation's pride. Symbolism of nation's pride. Okay, this day is going to be a beautiful day that people are going to remember, because today is the first day I'm seeing the blacks and the whites standing together singing the old anthem, that is Die Stem, okay, and then singing the new national anthem Kosei Nikalel Africa, okay, that is would be despised, first hated, okay. Earlier people did not like it because there was discrimination between whites and the blacks, okay, and so people did not know the words properly, and they were singing with hesitation, like you were not sure, like they were not sure about the words, they were singing like that. But he is saying that one day they will know it by heart, like how we know all our national anthems by heart. When I'm asking you to sing your national anthem, everyone will sing it by heart, because every day in school you are practicing from your childhood, you are hearing the national anthem, right? But for them it was new, because that day only they got the full independence, okay, and Africa became discrimination free. It was a democratic nation. Now people are singing it together, and he's saying one day I will remember, they will all sing it by heart. That means without forgetting, from their memory, without any books in their hands, they will sing, he's saying, and he's really looking forward for that day, okay. Next, on the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of national domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest and most inhuman societies the world has ever known. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century and my own 8th decade as a man, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedom of all peoples regardless of the color of their skin. And now he's saying, on the day of inauguration, he's saying, I was overwhelmed with the sense of history. I am overwhelmed because I'm looking past the history, that because there were when did all this start? He's recapitulating and talking about how this apartheid policy system started. It was started, okay, during after the Anglo-Boer War. Okay, it started after the Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, he's saying. That means even before Nelson Mandela was born, it was started. As I told you, it was 300 years of white supremacy. What happened? All these white peoples gathered, and what happened? They formed a dominant government, okay, dominant policy called this apartheid system, and started to separate and discriminate the black-skinned people who are all looking black, and placed all the white-skinned people above them. And it was the harshest. He's saying, look, he says it was the harshest, most inhuman societies that was ever created. The society became very harsh, very cruel. Okay, if you could detailedly research about how black people were treated those days, it's horrible. Okay, it was painful, and people really went through hell in order to survive in that particular society, and it was the harshest society the world has ever known. And inhuman means cruel. Okay, it's a cruel societies the world has ever known. Now in the last decade of the 20th century, I mean till the last decade of till 20th century, till 1994, okay, until the Democratic Republic was started in South Africa, it was prevalent. Okay, it was happening. Okay, and I was old, almost the 8th decade, almost I have become 8 years old, and today I am seeing freedom. After so many years of struggle, I am seeing freedom today, and this system is overturned. The word given here is overturned, means reversed. Okay, overturned, reversed forever. Hereafter that particular system won't come, with a beautiful system today that gives rights and freedom for all people regardless of their color of their skin. So today they are going to give rights for all the people regardless of even if it is white or black, everyone will get the equal rights. Now that is what he is saying in this paragraph. Then that day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of my people, whose sufferings and courage can never be counted or repaid. I felt that day as I have on so many other days, and I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them, and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had brought. Okay, now he is really sad. He is imagining all the sacrifices made by thousands and thousands of people. Now today India is an independent nation, but was it achieved only by one man? Now we all say Gandhi is the father of our nation. He was the one who was standing in front of the freedom struggle and all. But was it only through the struggle of Gandhiji? No, it was struggle of all the people who struggled for freedom, all the freedom fighters. It is a product. The freedom was a product of all those people who fought against the British government for freedom. Same way he's saying it was not only by me. Okay, I am like the concentrated product of all those people's struggles. It was those people who are the real achievers, he's saying. They all struggled, and today we have achieved the freedom. And I'm really sad because they are not here to look at the free nation that they struggled once for. Okay, he says that. And then the policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. All of us spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt, but the decades of oppression and brutality had another intended effect, and that was that it produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sisseles, the Chief Lutulius, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fiskars, the Robert Soboways of our time, men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like may never be known again. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil, but I have always known that it is the greatest wealth. Its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. He's saying the policy of apartheid created deep lasting wound in the heart. Okay, because of that policy, because of the discrimination, my people's heart had a deep scar. Okay, something happens in history that created a deep scar in the hearts of people, right? Something really bad happens in our society, it is stuck in our memory, and it creates a wound in our heart, right? When some political system that is not right for the society comes, we people are hurt, and it is not easily taken away from our heart. Same way it happened, and it created a profound hurt. Profound hurt means deep and strong. Profound is deep and strong, a profound hurt, and because of this oppression and brutality, very cruel. And he's saying, and because of this created great people like who? Oliver Tambos, okay, Walter Sisseles, Chief Lutulis, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fiskars, the Robert Subowiks, and then all the other courageous people. All these people are great people who were courageous leaders who fought against the apartheid system. And today he is also saying that maybe this particular difficult situation is required to create great people like this. Okay, same way for our situation also. Like I have told you many times, this particular suffering you are going through, okay, the situation that you are going through, it is going to create you into a better person. If you don't have pain, if you don't have sufferings, you cannot become a better person, because you don't know how to act in situations like pain and circumstance. You should have this experience of pain so that it will teach you the value of freedom, the value of the medicine. Only if you know the pain of suffering, you'll know the value of medicine. Only if you know sadness, you'll know the value of happiness. Same way he's saying that because of that struggle, these great minds and characters were created, because they started to look forward, look at them. They started to appreciate the value of freedom, because they did not have freedom. Okay, that's why these great people were created. And he's saying, my country, Africa, is a country which is rich in minerals, gold, diamond and all, right? And he's saying, if we dig deeper, we could understand one truth, that is, more than this gold and diamond that is found in my soil, the greatest things, greatest elements that we can find in my soil is the people who are more precious, more truer and more finer than all these diamonds. Okay, he's saying that my people are more valuable than the diamonds that is found in Africa. You know, Africa is famous for diamonds and all, right? Okay, so people are more, African people are greater and finer than the diamonds found in our nation. So we'll stop till here for today. And what you have to do is you have to go through the lesson completely, because this is an important part of this lesson. Go through all the names of those freedom fighters, and then all those important hard words. Okay, children, and please do revise it one more time. Try to find the answers for the oral comprehension check in page number 21. I'll give you the answers for it in the next video. Okay, we'll meet in the next video, children. Stay home, stay safe. Bye.